Hey everyone, James here from 9 to 5 Software. Today I'm really excited because I am going to dive into what I think are the absolute best video editors you can get your hands on for your Mac. Now, if you're like me and you spend a lot of time creating content, you know just how crucial it is to have the right tools that just, sort of make your workflow smoother and really bring your ideas to life. Now, I've been testing out a bunch of different options, and I've got a good mix here from the super user-friendly ones that are perfect for beginners to those feature-packed beasts that'll satisfy even the pros out there. And just so you know, if any of these catch your eye, you'll find all the links to the products right down there in the description, easy peasy. All right, let's not beat around the bush and jump right in. Stick with me, and let's find out which video editor will be the perfect fit for your Mac and your video projects. So let's talk about Adobe Premiere Pro, which is pretty much the go-to software when it comes to video editing, especially on Mac. So the first thing you got to appreciate about Premiere Pro is its sheer power and versatility. Whether you're editing like a quick vlog for YouTube or full-blown cinematic production, Premiere's got you covered. It integrates super well with other Adobe products too, which is a huge plus if you're already in their ecosystem. Now, navigating through Premiere Pro might be daunting at first. I won't lie. There's a steep learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, man, it's like you've unlocked this superpower of video editing. The timeline is super intuitive once you're used to it, and the tool set is vast. You can do basic cuts, complex compositing, color grading, all that jazzes. The customization is like off the charts. You can pretty much tweak everything to fit your workflow. But okay, let's talk performance because that's crucial, right? Premiere Pro is a bit of a resource hog. You'll need a decent Mac to run it smoothly, especially if you're dealing with 4K footage or higher. I mean, no one likes laggy playback when you're trying to fine-tune edits, but if you've got a machine that can handle it, Premiere reacts really well. It's quite stable, which is obviously super important when you've sunk hours into an edit. All right, last point, cost. Adobe switched to a subscription model, which not everyone's thrilled about. Let's be honest. It's a recurring expense and it can add up, but you're paying for a top tier product with constant updates and support. If you're serious about video editing on Mac, I'd say Premiere Pro is totally worth the investment. Just to make sure your Mac's up to snuff and you're good to go. All right, so when you're talking about the best video editor for Mac, you've got to bring up DaVinci Resolve, right? What's really cool about it is that it's got this reputation for being super powerful. And honestly, that's for a good reason. Key interface might be a bit daunting, for beginners, but once you get the hang of it, it's like, whoa, you got professional grade tools at your fingertips. And the best part, it doesn't cost you a dime for the basic version, which let me tell you is insanely generous. Now, the color grading, top notch. Seriously, it's the same software used in Hollywood to get those movies looking all crisp and beautiful color-wise. So if you're into getting your videos to look just right with colors, that pop or, that subtle cinematic look, Resolve is your buddy. And, the free version is really actually free. You're not constantly hit with those annoying watermarks or those limits to how much you can do with it, which is, a breath of fresh air. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? The thing with Resolve is that it's pretty resource hungry. So you're going to need a Mac that's on the beefier side to run it smoothly, especially if you're dealing with 4K or even 8K footage. And the Fusion effects and Fairlight audio, they're amazing, truly, but they've got a steep learning curve. So if you're looking to dive into those, be prepared to spend a fair bit of time learning the ropes. To wrap it up, DaVinci Resolve, it's like this all-in-one package that can, frankly, knock it out of the park for video editing on a Mac. If you're willing to climb that learning curve and you've got the hardware to back it up, it's a game changer. The high-end features packed into the free version are pretty hard to beat. And if you're serious about your video editing, this is a tool you should definitely have in your toolkit. Just, be ready for a bit of a journey to master it. But hey, the results, totally worth it. All right, diving right into Filmora X as a top contender for the best video editor for Mac, let's talk about its user interface first. It's super intuitive, right? Even if you're just starting out, you'll find that Filmora X doesn't overwhelm you with complicated menus or, technical jargon. Everything is pretty much drag and drop, making it a breeze to get your project off the ground. And for those of you who are a bit more experienced, there's a bunch of advanced features tucked away, so it kind of grows with you as you learn, which is nice. Now, when it comes to features, Filmora X really packs a punch. There are these neat little effects like motion tracking, which is usually something you'd find in the more pricey software, right? But here it is in Filmora X, letting you add some dynamic elements to your videos with pretty minimal effort. And then there's the color correction tools. They give you a lot of control over the look of your video, making it feel more professional without, having to spend hours tweaking settings. Another thing that's super important is the performance, right? Filmora X is actually quite optimized for Macs. It runs smoothly, doesn't hog resources too much, and that's crucial when you're in the zone editing and don't want any lag to break your flow. It also supports a good range of formats and resolutions, including 4K, so you're all set for high quality outputs, which, as you know, is super important for keeping up with current video standards. Lastly, let's talk about value. Filmora X doesn't hit your wallet as hard as some of the other big names out there. It comes with a reasonable price tag, and you often get updates with new features and fixes without additional costs. So overall, if you're looking for a video editor that's easy to get into, but also has the potential to do some serious work, Filmora X is definitely worth considering for your Mac. There's just a lot to like here for video editors of all levels. All right, so let's dive into Final Cut Pro, which is, let's be honest, a giant in the video editing landscape, especially for all the Mac users out there. Now, what really sets Final Cut Pro apart is its magnetic timeline. It's super intuitive because it kind of eliminates the whole click collision mess that can happen with other editors. You can move things around and, everything else just sort of snaps into place. It's really handy for keeping your work neat and making the editing process a bit less hectic, dare I say. Now, if you're someone who's really into color grading or, polishing the look of your videos, Final Cut's got some pretty solid built-in tools. The color correction abilities are like really top-notch without needing, to round trip to another program. And if you're working with a lot of 4K or even 8K footage, Final Cut Pro handles it like a champ. You're not going to be sitting there waiting for stuff to render all day, which is, a godsend when you've got deadlines looming over you. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, though. Final Cut does have a bit of a learning curve if you're coming from, say, Premiere Pro or something similar. And some people might find the simplistic design a bit limiting at first. Plus, the price tag is a bit steep at a one-time purchase. We're talking about $299.99, which, is a commitment. But consider this, there are no subscription fees, so it could actually be more cost-effective in the long run if you're serious about video editing. Finally, what I really appreciate about Final Cut Pro is the ecosystem, particularly if you're deep in the Apple universe. It's just seamless when you're importing from your iPhone or your iPad using AirDrop or even, leveraging other Mac apps. There's also the fact that the performance is super optimized for Mac hardware. It feels like, Final Cut and Macs were just made for each other. So if you're all about that Mac life, Final Cut Pro might just be your best bet for high quality video editing. All right, so next up, we've got Luminar Neo. Now, this one's a bit special because it's not just your average photo editor. It really brings something new to the table, especially for you creative types out there. So I've been playing around with it on my Mac and, the experience has been pretty smooth. The interface is clean, which is great. And it doesn't feel cluttered despite having a whole lot of features packed in there. One thing that stands out is the eye capabilities Luminar Neo has. It's like having an assistant who does half the work for you. It analyzes your photos and it kind of just knows what to do to make them pop. There are these tools for like removing backgrounds or getting rid of unwanted objects, which I got to say work like a charm. It's not perfect every time, but saves you a whole lot of hassle, especially if you're not too keen on the nitty-gritty of photo editing. The sky replacement feature, guys, it's pretty mind-blowing. You've got a dull sky in your shot, and bam, with a few clicks, you got a sunset that looks like it's straight out of a travel magazine. And because it's all AI-driven, it meshes the new sky with your photo realistically. You don't get those weird halos or mismatched lighting you'd typically fuss over with other software. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a bit of a learning curve if you really want to dig deep into all the features. And sometimes, it can feel a bit slower on older Macs when it's doing its AI magic. But overall, Luminar Neo is a solid choice for anyone looking to step up their photo editing game on a Mac. It's not just about tweaking photos. It's more about creating a look that's genuinely unique to your style, and it does that really well. All right, guys, that wraps up my take on the best video editor for Mac. I really hope you found this rundown helpful. And hey, if you've got a favorite that I didn't mention, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I'd love to see what tools y'all are using. And don't forget, all the links to the products we talked about today are right there in the description below, so you can check them out and, see which one might be the best fit for your video editing needs. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's like the digital high five to let me know you're enjoying the content, and it keeps you up to date with all the latest videos we put out. Plus, if you've got a question or you're stuck on something, leave a comment. I'm always poking around there to see how I can help out or just engage with you folks. Also, take a little bit of time to check out some of the other videos on the channel. We've got tutorials, more software reviews, and a bunch of stuff that I think you'll really dig if this video was your jam. All right, I'm gonna head off, but thanks so much for watching. Keep creating awesome stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.